All right, y'all. Hit the like button, follow, subscribe, enjoy the podcast. All right, y'all. Welcome back. Another episode, Shooting Park Podcast. Week 3 of the new season here. Couple events this past weekend. Touch on the DP World Tour that went down this last weekend. A lot of big name players played in it. Plus, it was also a great event. TGL. And then we'll just jump right into golf news plus the upcoming events. So, first things first, PGA this past weekend, the American Express out there in La Quinta, California. Good little tournament. Sepp Straka won it at minus 25. Justin Thomas came in minus 23. Justin Lower minus 22. Jason Day minus 22, tied for third. And then Patrick Cantlay and Charlie Hoffman minus 20, tied for fifth. So, again, great weekend. Sepp Straka got his first win of the season, just relying on the first 3 rounds, which he shot basically 65, 64, 64 before going 2 under 70 on Sunday. So with those 3 rounds, he obviously had enough of a cushion there to kind of play a little bit more conservative. Didn't have to go for it as much. Just needed to hold off the other guys, which he was able to do. So he played really well, especially, again, those first 3 rounds he played amazingly, and then was able to just kind of dial it back and just be safe those last round. So JT, great performance by him. Best he's had since the 2022 PGA Championship win that he had. Great to see him back towards the top. Great to see him playing well again. It's been a while. I feel like every time you think that he might come back, you think that he might be okay, he just falls apart again. So great for him to be able to come back a little bit, play pretty well. And then again, obviously, he played well enough to come in second place. He shot a -6 on the last round to get him from 6th to 2nd. So again, good for him. It's great to see him back playing well again. Hopefully, we'll get to see him tonight in the TGL. So hopefully he plays well in that, and it can be an exciting match there. Last weekend's wasn't great. We'll touch on that later, though. Outside of that, congrats to Justin Lower. Matches his best career tour finish. And on top of that, this finish also helped him a lot with the swing 5 cutoff, as he's in second in points for that. And if he can stay in the top 5 after this week's event, he'll earn himself a spot in the next 2 signature events, which is the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, and I can't remember the second one, but he'll earn a spot back in those 2 events, which, again, earning those spots, just more opportunities to make some money. So congrats to him. And then Jason Day played with Straka on the final day. Couldn't make a comeback there. He tried and was looking to get his second tour win since 2018. So he hasn't really played great, but he is a major winner. So he is a great player. But he bogeyed the 15th, completely pushing him out of range. So unfortunate that happened to him. But hopefully, with him kind of pushing towards the top a little bit, maybe he can get a win under his belt again. It's been a while. And again, he did win majors back before 2018, so hopefully he can get one coming up here. Not even a major win, just a regular win, just to get him back on track. But yeah, good tournament out there in La Quinta. Can't remember what's the Farmers Insurance Open is this upcoming weekend, so we'll touch on that once I get to the upcoming events. But next event, DP World Tour, the Hero Dubai Desert Classic, Emirates Golf Club, Dubai. This actually turned out to be a really cool event to watch. I didn't get to watch a lot of it, obviously with the time difference and everything being out there. But I was able to see some of the highlights, especially of the last round. So the leaderboard went Rory McIlroy, Nicholas Norgard at -12, tied for fifth. Laurie Cantor -13 in third. Daniel Hillier -14 in second. And then Tyrrell Hatton won it at -15. So again, it actually turned out to be a lot of fun. I watched a little bit of the last round there between Tyrrell and Daniel. Obviously, again, I didn't get to watch a lot of it. I just really was able to watch the highlights. But it was a strong second round from both Daniel and Tyrrell to keep them, or to help them stay at the top of the leaderboard, both shooting 65s in the second round. So really great. Hatton was one stroke off of Hillier going into the final day, set up this great finale. Hatton ended up with a hard fought 3-under 69, while Hillier signed in for a 71 on Sunday, so he ended up giving up the lead there. But it did come down to the final hole, which was awesome to see, and a putt which Hatton was able to drill, securing the win, and just kind of finishing off that really fun final round and everything. Again, with the time difference, wasn't able to watch a lot of it, so there's not as much that I have to talk about when it comes to this. It was just one of those, when you're watching the highlights, you can see that it was a special finish and a lot of fun to watch. It would have been more fun to be able to watch it live, but it is what it is. And then, so Rory, he was looking to extend his win streak at this specific event to 3 in a row, came up a bit short. With his final round of 66, he ended up at 12 under for the week, though, tied for fourth, and extended his consecutive top 10 finishes at this event to 11 in a row, which is ridiculous that for 11 straight years he's been finishing the top 10 in this exact event. And there were some big names in it, obviously Tyrrell Hatton, Rory McIlroy. There were a few other guys that were lower down on the leaderboard there, didn't play as well this week, but it is a big event. Really cool to see. Again, if you have time, go watch the highlights. I doubt anybody watched it live, considering it was on from like 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. or something like that. So, but it was a good event. So on to the next one. So you had the TGL last week, LA versus Jupiter. I was really excited for this event originally, just because I wanted to see Tiger and Jupiter play in the TGL, obviously, with it being Tiger's league. I was excited to see that. It did not go well. Jupiter ended up losing 12-1 to the LA team of Rose, Theegala, and Morikawa. Tiger hit the opening drive, which, again, it got everyone excited in the audience, and it was basically the extent of the excitement for the Jupiter club. There really was nothing else to kind of cheer on. Specifically, Kevin Kistner was awful all night, and it was just highlighted by him scolding a bunker shot off the stick there, that if it didn't hit the stick, it was hitting someone in the crowd. So it was probably better that it hit the stick. But yeah, he scolded it completely right out of the bunker, drills the stick, and then it bounces another 30 yards, back to the left a little bit. But if he didn't hit that stick, he was hitting someone in the crowd, and that wouldn't have been good. But that was just the low light of his round. And he was so bad that at one point he looked at Charlie Woods, who's Tiger Woods' son. I think he's 15, something like that. Like, he's a young kid. Ask him if he wanted to sub in, trying to make a joke out of his horrendous play. Like, it was hard to watch sometimes. At least everyone on his team was laughing about it, because it was just one of those days for him, I guess. But it was hard to watch with him. He was horrendous. But other thing that made it kind of entertaining was the teams actually used the hammer quite a bit this time. So out of the, what do they play, 15 holes, it was used 4 times on the alt shot, once on the head-to-head. So you used it 5 out of the 15 holes, which was cool to see. People actually using it, making the holes mean more and whatnot. So that was a lot of fun. And then obviously Rose, Theegala, Morikawa all played well. All were obviously ready for the moment. Chance to play in the SoFi Center. I don't know what happened to the Tigers team. It was just bad all around. But obviously, Kevin Kistner was hands down the worst possible. That was the worst I've ever seen. But hopefully, Tigers team can figure it out for their next match, make it somewhat competitive, keep it entertaining. So far in the two matches, you've had two kind of blowouts. First one was a little bit closer, but this one was a complete blowout. So it's the only negative I see to this league right now. It's a lot of blowouts. There's nothing really coming down to the wire. There's nothing exciting happening at the moment. But we'll see what happens this week. Excuse me. So for this week, you have New York versus Atlanta. The lineups are New York, Fitzpatrick, Fowler, Young. Atlanta, Patrick Cantlay, Billy Horschel, Justin Thomas. So again, we get to see Justin Thomas tonight after his great performance this past weekend. So it'll be fun to see how he plays just in general, and two, kind of to see the transition from playing outside in the elements, all on grass, to hitting in basically a dome, and you hit a tee shot and maybe an iron shot off of grass, and then the rest of it is it's all turf around the green, and then the green is turf. So be interesting to see. But that's all the events from this past weekend. Again, we still haven't had any LPGA or LIV events. Both of them are coming up at some point. I believe LPGA is the weekend after this one coming up, and then LIV is like the first week of February or something like that. First or second week of February. I can't remember if they're competing with the Super Bowl. So we'll have to wait and see. Again, once those actually do start coming around and whatnot, I'll touch on them a little bit more. But till then, all the events for this past weekend. So we'll go ahead and we'll move forward. All right, so golf news past week. Scotty Scheffler just announced that he's not going to be rushing back, and he's unsure of his status for Pebble Beach next weekend. Not this upcoming weekend, weekend after. For anyone that doesn't know, Scotty underwent surgery on his right hand after an accident on Christmas Day. It was a puncture wound from broken glass while preparing Christmas dinner. Obviously, he's basically just said that he'd rather be safe than sorry, and make sure it's recovering the correct way, rather than rush back and potentially cause an issue or anything like that. So this was, probably about a month. It's about a month ago now. So he should be kind of coming back. I think the initial timeline was 3 to 4 weeks when it all initially happened. So we're right in the middle of basically finishing out that fourth week. Once February 25th hit, or January 25th happens. Sorry. Once that happens, he'll be done in his fourth week. So hopefully, there'll be something next week. Maybe he comes out and he says he will play in the Pebble Beach. But I don't know if he will. I really can't see him playing in it, because I just don't see a point in him coming out and playing in it with other big events coming up later on. So we'll have to wait and see. Other injury news, Xander pulled out of the Farmers Insurance Open after also pulling out of the American Express this past weekend. He basically just has a soft tissue injury in his ribs. It's something that could sideline him for a few weeks. It's all dependent on, what he does for recovery and how bad it was initially. And, it's all dependent on kind of what the injury is. There's not a lot of news out there about it right now, but as it comes out, I'll keep you guys updated. Hopefully it's not something that'll keep him out for longer than a few weeks here and there. And hopefully when he does come back, he does come back healthy. Rather him not come back quickly and get 100% than come back quickly and end up keep re-injuring it and never really playing to the level that we kind of know that he can play at. So that is another injury. So you got 3 major injuries. Again, Scotty, Xander, and then obviously you still have Jordan Spieth, who hopefully he's still aiming at next week as his comeback. So fingers crossed he will be coming back next week, play Pebble Beach Pro-Am. If he is, I'll be super excited to see that, and I'll definitely touch on it next week. But outside of that, other golf news, you got Greg Norman, former CEO of LIV Golf, basically came out and said that he'd love to sit with Tiger and Rory and debate live golf. I mean, I don't know. This guy is something else. He believes he'll win the debate and that Tiger and Rory have both benefited from live golf or from live being in the golf ecosystem. I mean, potentially true. Like, I do agree that I think it's helped golf with the money coming in and how much the players are making. PGA implementing things like the PIP and signature events for players to potentially make even more money, and it'll basically just keep the players from jumping ship. So I'm not going to say that he's 100% wrong in saying that they've benefited from it. I think he's just arrogant as hell, and his arrogance is almost like it's almost admirable. Like, it almost I just can't believe some of the things that he says and whatnot. Like, he is just out of this world, thinks the world of himself, thinks that he is God's gift to golf. I'm hard pressed to believe that. I don't believe it. I think, again, he's kind of just an arrogant prick who thinks very highly of himself. At the end of that interview, he was quoted saying, "When I look back on my past 3.5 years, from my past 20 years, he said, oh my gosh, I really have changed the game of golf more than what people realize." Like, again, he is just one arrogant guy, which is whatever it is. It is what it is. You can be arrogant, you can be that type of guy, but I can't. I never could stand the guy. I know I know Rory and Tiger absolutely hate the guy. They've said multiple times they want him to basically exit stage left. I know Rory has literally been quoted saying exit stage left. But now, with Greg Norman stepping down as the CEO of Live Golf, now he wants to have this conversation, and he believes that, he's made, again, everybody's life's better in golf and done all this stuff. I personally can't stand the guy. I never could. I think I said it on an episode last year when he went out and he was tending the flag on a par 3 for Bryson, like, kind of just doing stupid things that, just puts him in the spotlight instead of the players. So again, arrogant prick. Like, he's not 100% wrong. Golf is definitely, the PGA definitely takes care of their players a little bit more. Again, inventing the PIP, signature events, just more opportunities for the players to make more money. So I get it. I understand where he's coming from with that. But at the same time, like, he doesn't see the downside of it as well. Like, just this big dividing in golf now between the Live and the PGA players and kind of all that stuff. He doesn't see any of that. Or if he does, he refuses to see it or take blame for it. He blames the PGA guys for being jealous of the Live guys, which, again, I don't know. The guy's arrogant. So good for him. Not 100% wrong. I think Rory and Tiger are probably going to have something to say about this. Once they do read about it. This was something that he was quoted saying, like, today, I'm pretty sure. So, I'm sure they'll come out. They're going to have something to say about this. It's not going to be something that'll go under the radar there. But on to the last segment here. We got upcoming events. So for the upcoming events, only looking at 2 of them this week. PGA Farmers Insurance Open, Torrey Pines Golf Course, San Diego, California. This is going to be a Wednesday to Saturday event this week. Not 100% sure why. I think it was because it had to get moved, I believe. So, but Wednesday to Saturday event, so it'll actually be starting tomorrow, not on Thursday. And then the TGL, as I mentioned earlier, New York versus Atlanta tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So, For the picks, my bets that I had last week, 2 of them didn't hit, 1 hit. The PGA Farmers Insurance Open, I had Wyndham Clark top 5, didn't hit. The DP World Tour Hero Dubai Desert Classic, I had Tyrrell Hatton at top 5. I should have taken him to win it because that one clearly hit. And then I took Jupiter just thinking that Tiger and his team were going to play well in their first match. That was a complete mess. But I feel like anything with the TGL right now is kind of a toss-up because no one really knows how it's going to go. So upcoming week, I'm taking Atlanta and the TGL plus 100. And then I'm going to do 2 bets for the PGA Farmers Insurance Open. Matthew Pavone to win it at 11,000 plus 11,000. And then Taylor Pendrith top 5 plus 600. So Matthew Pavone won this event last year. I think he's due for another win some point here. So I have a good feeling that he's going to come out and he's going to defend his championship and win it. And then Taylor Pendrith, it's just been burning edges here. So I think if he has a couple that fall, he's definitely going to be top 5. So, but he's been burning edges. He's had the opportunities there. So we'll have to wait and see. I will let you guys know how those 2 bets turn out next week. But yeah, keep an eye out. Go ahead, watch the TGL tonight, and then obviously with the Farmers Insurance Open starting tomorrow, we have 5 straight days of golf. So be a lot of fun. Keep an eye out on it. Go watch some golf, and we'll see you guys next week.